So hey everyone, welcome to yet another week. I am so happy that you're here with me today. And right behind me, those raspberries, I promise we are going to get those poor things trellised up this week. So we are down here in my growing field that is all laid with black weed mat, and I do this for weed suppression. And if you haven't watched one of my previous videos and you're new, I just wanted to briefly show, do you see this snapdragon? And you see how it has all kind of branching coming out from the sides? That's because, let's see if I can get down here for you. See that snip that we made right there? That's where we came and we took out the main growing stalk, and this one we have not. And you see how kind of leggy it's getting? That one is sending up all kinds of side shoots off of the side, which are going to produce really nice long stems. And this is what we do in order to get great long stems for cut flowers. So this one, because I haven't done it yet, I am just going to come again where these leaves come out of the stem, and you can see there's even more coming out here. And I'm just going to take and I'm going to snip. And this, if you were interested in having more snapdragons, which as you can see I have an entire row, so I may start a few more just for a succession, so I will plant these later and they will bloom later. But I don't technically need any more snapdragons. But you can put these in water, and in about 2 to 3 weeks you will actually have roots on them and have some new plants. So I have gone through, and all of the remaining ones that I had not yet snipped the tops out of, I went ahead and did that. And as you can see, I have a bucket full here. And I think just for the fun of it, we'll go back up to the house, and any that are of good length that make it really easy to get into a vase of water and not have them quickly, be out of water when they start drinking it. We'll just make a few more. Why not? If I use them, I use them. If I don't, I don't. Now these are my Strawflowers. They are also one that benefits from having their main central stem snipped off, and they will branch out more from the bottoms. So I'm going to do that to these as well. And if you are interested, I will put a list, not of every single one, but I will put a good list for you down below in the description of plants that you can do this to. Now these right here are stock flower. And if you've ever had them in a bouquet or you have grown them before, you know they smell absolutely divine. But these are ones that you in no way want to snip because they bloom off the main stem, and they're kind of a one and done. Every once in a while I've had some put up some little tiny small side branches, but nothing significant. But I put some in a pot on my patio last year just because I had too many for where I was going in my field. I didn't cut them at all, and I am telling you, they lasted almost till frost. I had gorgeous stock flowers for a long time, so I was pretty impressed with that. And as we're heading back to do yet something else, I just wanted to stop and show you briefly. If you watched my video where I pruned my hydrangeas, they are already bushing out incredibly well. And these are the panicle hydrangeas. They bloom on new wood, so you cut them back quite a bit. They're still in their growing phase. They won't put on blooms for a little bit. But this is my other hydrangea. It's the only one I have. Looks like he needs a little more fertilizer than what I gave him. But you can see it's already forming its blooms. So this one is like that really pretty bluish purple. Kind of an old-fashioned variety to me. But yeah, they're doing great. And can't wait to show you what they look like when they bloom. They go from a white to a blushy pink to a deeper pink, and then like most hydrangeas towards the fall they turn that beautiful burgundy color. And I just wanted to show you this too. I don't know if any of you have ever seen this plant before. It's not as common. I haven't seen it around much. I grew these from seeds, and you can actually divide some of the root base to make new plants, but in the spring, so I missed my opportunity this year. But this is called goat's beard, and it is used in cut flower bouquets as well. The only problem is the deer kind of like it. I've had them munch it multiple years, so this is just a temporary little fencing that we put around the raised beds here, but we're going to put in stakes and put in a proper fencing, and it's going to encompass this whole area right here up into the dog run, and then we're going to extend the fence up on the dog run as well, just to prevent them from chewing my stuff. And this little beauty right here, this is called a honeywort. I have some planted down in the field. This is actually one of those times where one of the tray packs that I had planted with seeds for 1 year didn't germinate, and I tend to throw all of the scrap into a bucket, and then the seed decided to germinate. So I just have a little volunteer hanging out here. I decided I'd leave him because he's pretty. And I got my first little handful of strawberries. Can't wait until more of them get ready and we can make strawberry shortcake, strawberry milkshakes. Whew, so it's starting to get bright. The cool days are going away and we're getting up hot again. But as you can see down here, I have my flower netting, and then I have some new posts, and I'm going to be working on getting these put in on the rows that I need them for the support. And I'll probably just put you on a time lapse so you can see. I might take a few little clippets of other things that I'm doing, but I do have to burn a couple new holes for the stakes. I'll probably do that first, get those in, and then let you watch. I never did put stakes in here, and let me see if I can show you. So here you can see I already made cuts in the black plastic for the holes, and here I have not. So I'm just going to be marking, probably putting the posts down where I want them to be, and then I'm going to burn a hole. So we have the first row of flower support netting on, and you can see it's just this very flexible plastic square grid pattern. And the nice thing is you just slip it over the poles on each side, and you can lower it or make it higher depending on what you need for your flowers. Now, straw flowers do get pretty tall. The status next to it doesn't. So as the straw flower grows, I will adjust it higher, and that way I'll be able to just reach under and get the status flowers. But yeah, it's a pretty great system because, like I say, we have wind around here, and if I don't support them, the wind would just knock them over and they'd be laying flat. Now, bunny tail grass really does not in any way need support netting, but this first round of it is almost done. You can see it's kind of shedding a little bit. It's going to go to seed. But once all this fuzzy stuff gets brushed off, let me show you how cute they are. You see that? Little bunny tail grass. I use these in bouquets a lot, and I actually make a birthday cake. Maybe I'll put a picture up on the screen and show you what that looks like. So there we have it. I have the raspberries all just kind of corralled in so they're not hanging out in the rows, and I put 2 hoops over each end, or a hoop over each end, and I'm going to drape bird netting across there so that I can keep the birds from pecking my berries. So as you can see, we did get our cattle panel trellis up, and I'm going to be planting my pole beans on here. They're Blue Lake pole beans. So when I am planting my green beans, I am just making sure that my hole is slightly deeper and slightly wider than the plug that I'm putting in here. And then I sprinkle down some organic granulated fertilizer, and this fertilizer is specifically labeled on the back that you can put it in the hole at planting time. So please make sure to read your labels on any of your granular fertilizers, because some are not, because they can burn the roots, but this one is fine. I have taken so long to get my cattle panel up. The root system on these green beans is getting root bound, so like I did with some of my other ones, I'm just going to tease them out a little bit. It sounds horrible, but they'll be fine. And then I'm going to put this down into the hole. Take my shovel out. I'm going to press it down, and then all of the dirt that I had kind of loosened around it, I'm just going to pack it right around on top and press it down. And then I will hand water these in, and then I probably will also turn my drip tape on a little bit later today. As you can see, I have drip tape underneath the weed mat here. So that's all there is to it. All right, we have the Blue Lake pole beans planted, and as they start to grow and reach out for the trellis, I will probably help them a little bit to get them established, but then they will just take off and climb up this trellis, and they actually will get so tall that they will outgrow this space, but they just kind of curl over onto themselves, and it's fine. I will probably show you that later in the summer as we're picking beans. So now we're going to do the tour of the garden, and then we're going to go down and look at the growing field. But you can see the tomatoes are really taking off. In the next bed, the broccoli, it's getting nice and big. And the nice thing about this broccoli is that the plant is sturdy enough where even if the netting is kind of sitting on it, it's able to push it up as it grows. English peas, they're starting to get blooms on them. They didn't grow as tall as they should have, and I'm pretty sure that's just because they were getting pecked by the birds. This is the cauliflower. It also is getting some nice size to it. My strawberry plants, I already have been harvesting strawberries off of them, if you can see right back there. I got a bunch more red ones back there. My little Pixie Crunch apple tree, I am definitely gonna have to support these branches as the apples get bigger. Again, these are Pixie Crunch. They are small, but they can make this tree heavy, and it is loaded. My pear tree, and this is a comparison to my hand right now, just how big they're starting to get. The garlic, I think by the time you're watching this video, I will probably be on my way back. We have to drive out of town for about 4 hours each way for my daughter's last breast cancer surgery. So I'm kind of doing the tour of the garden a couple days earlier than I normally would. But I will probably harvest the garlic when I get back. I need to weed this bed, but these are the zucchinis that I planted in here. That one back there is starting to get some decent size to it. And these are a blue, I call them a blue pumpkin, but they're actually a blue squash. And I still have some of my parsley in here. I honestly don't need any more. I harvested so much of it at the beginning of the season and dehydrated it, but this one is already starting to go to seed, so I'm probably just going to get that out of there. I do not need any more seeds. They're pretty good at self-seeding, and if you look down here, that's exactly what I mean. That's a little volunteer. And these are the black crim tomatoes that I put in this bed, and they are also doing very well. This bed over here just has a couple of black crim, and this is the bed that has all the flowers in it for pollination. My basil down here at the bottom, I need to give it some fertilizer, but it's taken off, and would you look at these sweet little babies right here. These are my sugar snap peas, and I am so excited to be able to come and eat these in the morning. It gets to the point, ooh, look at these back here. I didn't even see this. I've been so busy trying to get stuff done leading up to my daughter's surgery. I haven't really checked my plants, but these are even bigger. But there'll come a point when I have so many that I actually share some with my mom and other people that like to eat them. I snack on these every morning in the garden. This is a bed, if you watched the video when I was planting the tomatoes and weeding. Actually, I think I was just weeding. I had some volunteer dill back there, and I've left it, and it's doing great. And then the tomatoes, these are yellow pear tomatoes. I didn't want to plant too many of those because they grow and produce so much. This is my other English peas, and if I can get my shadow out of the way, down here, this is the kohlrabi. And if you watched the video where I planted these, they were the smallest little seedlings, and they have just taken off and gotten really happy. This bed has some more black crim tomatoes, and it has the other side of the trellis of the English peas. And then down here is some butterhead lettuce. It's gonna start getting kind of warm. I don't know how well these are going to do, but we're gonna let them go and see what they do. Still have to get the netting put over it, and I had a couple of ripe berries and the little birds already took them. But let's take a look right here. But see how the berries are already starting. And these are, again, the golden raspberries. So these, you can kind of see they're already kind of getting that blush golden color. This one up here is maybe a better example. If I don't get these covered before I have to go, I'm sure it'll be gone by the birds before I get back. Oh, and look, there's a little cluster right there. And over here, you can see some of the onions decided to cooperate. Some of them did not. Some of them are still wimpy. But I'm still going to keep giving them the love and see what they will do. I brought down 2 more tomatoes. It's been really windy. They've blown over, but I'm not sure where I'm going to plant those yet, but they're just sitting right there so I can keep them watered. And these are some beefsteak tomatoes. This last blueberry bush here, I really need to get covered with the netting like I have the other 2 before the birds start pecking at those. This is one of my gorgeous, gorgeous lilies. It looks a lot like a stargazer lily. And then I have another one in here that's a different color. So if you're subscribed, or if you'd like to subscribe, that would be awesome. And I will just show you updates on all of this stuff, and you'll get to see its progress. Down here, this side, this bush was really like wide, and I was able to get half of it covered with the size of the berry bag that I have, but I'm going to have to put another one on this one. And then this one I did get netted, but look at that cluster of berries back there. We're going to have some good blueberries. And the potatoes, I'll just kind of pan out for you. I just gave them a good soak this morning. They're doing great. And you all, I am still bummed that my goji berries are not going to bloom this year, but keeping my fingers crossed next year. I guess a lot of them will bloom like the first year after you plant them. So these started from seed last year. This is the goji berry right here. They started from seed last year. A lot of times they will bloom the next year. Mine did not. I have actual 4 plants of those. My carrots, they're getting bushy, coming up. And over here I just put some more potatoes. And then my herb bed, the oregano is starting to put on seed heads. I have dehydrated a lot of that. I'll probably whack it back, and then when it bushes out I may do some more. And the tricolored sage, it's already getting seed heads on it. And those are really pretty when they bloom. I'll show you that as well. Now, I have a flower bed right next to my garden, and I'll show it to you, but these beautiful little climbing roses, I'm not really a big fan of how they look after they open, but that's a bud. That's what it looks like as it's opening more, and then they just kind of blow open. I guess they kind of look like a little old-fashioned rose, so they are pretty, but when the whole bush gets going, it is just glorious. And I have one on each side, so those are just like a mass of just pretty pale pink when they're all blooming out. But as we walk down to the garden, I will just kind of show you. This is a little fence line I have next to my greenhouse, and the marshmallow plants have not started blooming yet, but they bloom white, and they're kind of similar to a hollyhock, if you know what that looks like. They'll be blooming here probably in the next month or so. And my Sweet Williams. This is my Brazilian vervain. It's purple. It's gorgeous. And this is my valerian. Look how tall they get. These are like a stunning back of the border kind of plant. And again, they're medicinal, so you can use their roots. Pardon the weeds. It's a never-ending battle. My hydrangeas continuing to bush out. That is my goat's beard plant. And in here, the stalk, aren't they so pretty? Oh, and if we had smell-o-vision, it would be so fabulous. But those little bushy things kind of in between down there that are still green, that is my larkspur. And then in here, I actually do have some plants. They're just kind of getting going. It's called gomphrena. They put on little ball heads. And again, this is the black adder dianthus. And I'm kind of on the wrong side of the fence, but I'm going to see if I can zoom in for you. Can you see that? They're not really black, but they're such a deep, like burgundy plum color that I guess they call them black. My daughter really loves ranunculus, and so she went online and picked out some really pretty varieties. So if you can see, these are my rows of my Obsession sweet corn. I have 3 rows. You can see the water, we just gave them a good soak yesterday. This is succession planting 1 and 2 put in here. I have 3 more. I will probably plant the 3rd succession when I get back, and then the 4th and 5th need a little more time to grow in their pots first. And again, I do that because the mice and the birds both will just pluck the seeds out of the ground and eat them. And we are down in phase 1, which is the growing field that I have all with black mulch, which is a lifesaver when you're doing annuals and things like that. Every year you don't have to worry about the weeds. But just giving you a quick tour, the Bupleurum down there is growing really well. This is the Bupleurum that volunteered from last year, and it's got seed heads on it. If you can see, it's a really pretty yellow bloomer. The bunny-tailed grass, the original ones that were there, are bloomed out. The smaller ones down there, right there, are just getting going. I have my flower netting up so that I'm prepared. I have to get it on 3 or 4 other beds, but this is the Strawflower. It's getting nice and big. The honeywort and the Persian cress. And then here in this row, if you can see them, this is the Celosia. And then here are my Snapdragons. And again, they're all bushed out because I pinched them. I pinched the tops off. This is the, the one and only bachelor button I allowed to stay. And it's getting kind of leggy, crowding out some of my Snapdragons, so it might come out here pretty soon. If you can see the dark spots on the black plastic, I do have the drip tape going on under here. Again, wanted to give a good soak for these so they're nice and watered for when I'm gone. My zinnias, oh my gosh. So my weed mat in a couple of spots, like down here on the end, I don't have it tacked down yet super well because I am working on putting weed mat on the walkway. And some of my zinnias, because the air flowed up underneath it, they got trapped into the black plastic, and you can see that little pathetic one there in the middle. The heat under the black plastic just cooked it. So you do have to be careful when you grow with black plastic, just to make sure that it's taut so that, again, the wind doesn't blow them all over the place. But you can see my nice little soldier rows going there of those. Over there, it's probably kind of hard with the glare. Maybe I'll go from the other direction. This is my Blue Lake pole beans, and they're just getting established, getting ready to take off. These are some volunteer plants and a volunteer Snapdragon, but I don't really have anything in here yet. I might put a few more watermelon plants in there because I have quite a bit. This is another row that just at the very end I put some more of the Celosia. You can see that row down there. That is the Basil. Need to give it a shot of fertilizer. I have bush beans right there in the very far back. That whole row back there, that's Roma tomatoes. I'm gonna get a stake put on those. Those are determinate, so I don't have to worry too much, but I like to stake them so they don't flop over. This whole row right here is a variety of different types of peppers. And then here is my Ageratum. And these ones, you can break pieces off of these, stick them in water, and they root fairly quickly. My Rudbeckia Sahara, or Sahara. And then I have my tall marigolds, both in yellow and orange. And down at the very end, I have my marigold Eskimo, which are kind of a creamy white color. So that's what's happening this week in the garden. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.